So thank you very much for being here today. We appreciate your for attending for our workshop that we'll be discussing about information when it comes to technology, and especially it's really important when it comes to distance learning. And we have invited a couple of our experts from our IT department to talk to you today as well and go over some information on that. Just as a reminder, this is our family engagement workshop. We'll give our introductions. We'll be providing some updates for you all today. And then we'll go into some information about how to use Aeries Parent Portal, information about internet safety, some tech support questions you might have, and then we'll conclude with some contact information and how to stay connected during this time. Just as a reminder for many of you that are here today, you could click on the bottom of the portion, you could send your questions directly to us via the Q&A. These questions will be sent to our panelists, and we will be able to respond to those questions as they come along, or also towards the end. And we will also be able to respond those questions, directly to you if they're more on a private matter. As always, we will provide interpretation in Spanish, so that you just click on the little globe and you'll be able to switch between English and Spanish. And we'll be recording this webinar in order to share for you all as well. My name is Heriberto Soto. I work as a Family Community Engagement Coordinator. If you scan this QR code, you'll be able to access many of the resources that we'll be covering today. As always, we share this information with you all via email or in text. And then this is the same QR code that you see here is the same as this link right here. Today we have many of our staff from our Information and Education Technology Services. I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm going to let themselves introduce themselves, and then we'll start.
Hi, my name is Barbara Schiffner. I'm the Executive Director that oversees information technology and educational technology.
How about Ms. Kramer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kramer. I am one of the educational technology coordinators for our district. I'm kind of the link between the teachers in the classroom and our IT department.
And then Mr. Briggs.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Briggs. I'm the IT User Services Manager. Basically, that means that I oversee computer support and help desk. Anytime you're calling our help desk for tech support, that's my team.
And the other half, Mr. Machado.
Luke, you are muted.
Luke.
I'm the coordinator that doesn't know how to use Zoom, apparently. My name is Lucas Machado. I am the other coordinator of educational technology, and that means helping everyone use technology to the best of our abilities.
And then we have Mr. Barajas as our Spanish interpreter and Mr. Thor as our moderator, so he'll be able to respond to questions along the way. Just as a reminder for you all, if you have questions when it comes to enrollment, questions on intra-district transfers, the service line will be able to help you to direct as far as who you could contact for those questions you might have. In the same regards, special education has a message line that you could call and leave a message, and they'll contact you back and provide that information if it's something that has to do with your students. We also have our support line from special education that they're there Monday to Fridays from 12:30 to 3:30 to answer questions you might have. And then finally, we have our tech support line to call questions when it comes to issues with passwords, issues on accessing Chromebook, issues with glitches with Zoom. You can send them an email, techsupport@twinriversusd.org. If you do so, they'll send you a ticket, and then they'll be able to work with you in helping you respond the questions you might have. The ticket means that it's an open ticket, and then they'll be responding to you via email and help you along the way. Or you can also call them as well. We want to let you know that Nutrition Services now has it where all students that are, in this case, 18 years old and younger and whether or not they're enrolled in Twin Rivers or other schools, are able to now access meals for all students. They'll be able to receive a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner as well when they go and pick up those meals. Today, for example, because of the fires, there was an issue in so many of the families. They had a limited meal distribution time. And so in this case, today was it only 11:30 to 12:30, but typically they have a morning distribution and an afternoon distribution. They also have what's called a mobile meal bus program right here, where they're distributing meals for families, along bus routes in North Highlands and Melinda. So if you go to the Nutrition Services website or also their Facebook, you'll be able to find out information about those resources as well. We want to let you know of this great opportunity that Twin Rivers is offering for families. And with that, Mr. Briggs, can you speak a little bit about Internet Essentials and Twin Rivers and what this program entails?
Absolutely. So the Internet Essentials program has been available from Comcast for some time. However, there's typically been a cost for families if they wanted to sign up, at least $10 a month. Twin Rivers is, due to our distance learning needs, offering to cover that cost at least through the end of May of this coming year, basically the end of the school year, for all of our Twin Rivers families who qualify for the program and need internet at home to sign up. So if you do follow the links that are supplied here, and Roberto will be posting some additional links as well, there's steps you can take to qualify for the program. Twin Rivers will fully cover that monthly service cost. It will give you in-home internet access, your own personal internet access, but Twin Rivers will cover the cost again through the end of the school year, so there will be no cost to you whatsoever.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. So as Mr. Briggs has mentioned, you would go to internetessentials.com/apply, look whether your address is available or has service for Comcast. Then you would reach out, and as Ms. Briggs has mentioned, you would contact tech support. I forgot to include there's a little link where you can send them an email. Let me go back here. Right here. So send an email to them or calling them saying that you have a student that's enrolled within Twin Rivers. You'll be able to access, they'll provide you with a code, and then they'll be able to help you sign up for your student, in this case for Internet Essentials. Okay. With that, we'll be starting how to use. Many of our questions are coming up. Some of you have posted some of those questions via the registration. Some of those are often being asked, and please do ask those questions as well. Send those questions via the chat or the Q&A tool that you see below. And one of the first ones that we'll be talking about is Aeries Parent Portal. As you probably have seen, this is a new parent communication app. And could I ask somebody who would feel comfortable to speak a little bit about Aeries Parent Portal, how it began, and what families should know about it?
I can speak about it. So Aeries Parent Portal started when we decided we needed one application for parents that has the most information on it for parents, including attendance, their students' grades, and ways to communicate to a school and have a school communicate to parents, as well as many other things. And we wanted one application that could do that, whether you had a student in kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. So we got there, and this year the parent portal is open to all parents. And it is at parent.twinriversusd.org. We sent out an email in August about that gave parents their username and password. And from this point on, if you did not get that that email, you can contact your school site. You can also contact student services from that beginning slide that Alberto shared, and they will assist you getting logged in to your account.
And as Mr. Machado has mentioned, Aeries Parent Portal, you would need to create an account. And so for that, as you probably have seen this right here, typically it comes up with the verification code. And Mr. Machado, can you talk a little bit about the verification process and why is there a need to verify if they're trying to create an account for their student?
Well, we have to have very high security on a program like this. And currently, we're not recommending using a verification code. We're recommending that you contact the school or student services if you need help getting a login information, and they can send an email to you with your login information. We did find quite a few parents did not have an email in our system. And so if you did not have an email in our system, you obviously did not get a login email, and we need that email to be put into our system, and then you will receive an email with your login information. So if you never got an email or you need a new email that has the login information for Parent Portal, please contact your school site or student services, and they will help you get set up.
One of the questions that was asked is for families that don't have an email address, is there a way they could sign up if that is a requirement, or would that be difficult to do?
An email address is required for any Parent Portal system, including this one. So parents will need to create an email address, which can be done for free with a Gmail account or many other email services. But it is a requirement, yes.
And then we have created these frequently asked questions that typically get asked, whether or not you could add more than one student in your account, whether or not you can have separate accounts because you have two different families living in different households. And so we've created these documents and we've shared them with you all via email and then also on the distance learning website for families. And then with Mr. Machado, can you go a little bit about how gradebook attendance and communication would look like for Aeries Parent Portal?
Absolutely. So you can see any gradebooks that your child's teacher has created, and you can click into those gradebooks and see the different categories, and then click into the assignments themselves and even read the description of the assignments and see all of the grades there within. You can also see live attendance, and there is a communications tab where you can see posts that have been made to your child's classes and also direct messages that may have been sent just to you. A lot of these notifications come in even though you're not logged into the portal, but you can always log into the portal and see all the communications that are going on. You can also like different posts and comment on them if you have a question. You can comment on any post if you have a question, and that comment goes directly to the poster and is not a public comment. But that's a good way to ask a follow-up question.
Is there a difference? The question that came up also was with the mobile app, the Aeries Parent Portal app. Is that similar as far as also on the website? Is there any differences between the mobile app compared to that URL, the parent.twiniverseusd.org?
There's one or two small things you can do on the app, but for the most part, all of the same information is in both areas, and they are essentially the same.
And one of the other questions, oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. They just look a little different. They're just organized a little different.
And then one of the questions.
There's a questions where the parents ask, should they have access to communication tab in the Aeries? When the parent was trying to go into the section, it said, not authorized, but my child have access. Can you talk about that?
Yes, you should have access. Please contact tech support or student services with that question. All parents should have. If you're able to log into the portal, you should be able to see the communications through the communications tab on both the app and on the website. You're welcome.
We'll go on to the next part. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Machado, about Aeries Parent Portal?
I encourage anybody who hasn't logged in to do so and to start following their students' grades and communications. It's a great tool, and we hope to get as many parents on here as possible. Even when we go back to school, it's going to be a really important tool to stay in connection with your child's academics all the way through their experience at Twin Rivers.
Muted, sir.
Edberto, you're muted.
My apologies. So as Mr. Machado has mentioned, I'm also forgot to do the screen share with the sound. So Mr. Machado, can you talk about a little bit just quickly about this video with the internet safety tips, or should I just play?
I think if you stop your screen share, you can start it again.
Okay. So it should be right here, right?
Here are 5 internet safety tips for kids. Number 1, don't give out personal information, such as home address, school name, or phone number. Number 2, never send pictures to strangers. Number 3, keep passwords private, except from parents. Number 4, don't download anything without permission. It may contain a virus that can harm your computer. And number 5, tell an adult if you receive a mean or strange message. For more tips, visit us at commonsense.org.
So that's a short little video on the
Here
main
are 5 internet safety
tips, and I've summarized them on that next slide.
Here are 5 internet safety.
Sorry.
Okay, so here's the 5 that they mentioned in the video, and I think these are the important ones because we're trying to keep the message simple so we can all remember how to stay safe on the internet. So number 1 is never give out any personal information, and that's something you want to talk to your children about, is never give out anything that could identify you on the internet. And number 2 is never send pictures to strangers. Unfortunately, this happens too often. That is something that we need to go over with our students and children a lot. Never send a picture to strangers. And number 3 is to keep passwords private. This, even in kindergarten now, we have passwords to get into all these wonderful programs, and it's never too young to teach children that passwords are private. In my own experience, my kids had to learn that. They didn't automatically know that it wasn't okay to log in as other kids. They thought it was funny, and we had to talk about that in my home. That keeping passwords private is the way to go, and that logging in as somebody else is just like writing on their paper or messing with their private things in their home. So always keep passwords private. And number 4 is to download with permission. You should never download anything unless an adult has verified it, because you don't know what it's going to do to your computer. And number 5 is always tell an adult if you get a weird message. Somehow, in all of our systems and in our Chromebooks, they have the highest levels of security. But it's still a good idea to talk to children if they get an email or a direct message. Maybe it's on their phone. If anything makes you ever feel uncomfortable, or it could be through a video game system now, because video game systems have chat features. If anything ever makes you uncomfortable, you should come and tell an adult immediately. So those are the 5 internet safety tips that if we all followed, we'd all be a lot safer.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mattel. Oh, there you go.
Thank you. So now we're going to talk about logging into Zoom as an authenticated user on the Chromebooks. So we recently, not too recently, but we did enable the authenticated users on our Chromebooks. And that is, sorry about the 3-year-old in the background. That is a security measure that we put in so that only our domain at twinriversusd.org can actually access the Zoom meetings that teachers are having. So if your student is having trouble logging into their Zoom meeting, they need to make sure that they're signed into their own accounts. So the first thing that they would need to do is to open Zoom on the Chromebooks. They can also do this from a website, but we're going to show Chromebooks together, and they're going to navigate to that very bottom icon that has the camera in a little blue circle, and that's the Zoom link. So they're going to click that open. Next slide, please. And then they're going to need to sign in. Sometimes it's going to open up to that join a meeting one, and they actually need to click the button that says sign in up at the top. So they need to navigate to that. That's the first red square at the very top. And then they're going to want to sign in with their Google account. Their Google account is the same as their Twin Rivers. So it's the same as their email, the same as their password. And so that's the at twinriversusd.org, their student ID number at twinriversusd.org, and they'll sign in with that and with their password that they have. If they're having trouble with their password, forgot it, they can reach out to their teacher, or you can reach out to technical support to assist you with that. The third thing that they're going to need to do is, again, as I said, they're going to need to log in. And it's going to be that student ID number at twinriversusd.org. They press next and they'll enter the password. Once they are signed in, then they can open their meeting link, or on that first little tab that said join a meeting, they can enter the meeting information on there, and that would enable them to enter their meeting for their Zoom meeting. So it's a pretty simple step process to do it. So I just wanted to address some of our Zoom controls, because that also helps our students make good decisions. Hold on, Bubba. So when we're looking at these, the right-hand corner, I'm sorry, the left-hand corner has your mute and unmute to start and stop video. If there is a slash through it, then that red line means that they are off. So if your student's having trouble, like we've seen with some people today already, forgetting to turn mute off, just look for that red slash and they would click that button. Also to start and stop video. The students will not be able to invite other people to the meeting, but they might be able to see who's in the meeting by clicking that participant box. Also under that participant box, they can give nonverbal feedback, so they can raise a hand, check yes, no, ask the teacher to go slower, to go faster. The teacher will decide if they're able to share their screens or not. So it would be that green button, and the teacher might turn that on at one point and turn that off. They might be using that in breakout rooms. That's going to be up to teachers' discretion on how they're doing that. There's also a chat feature within the same as the chat feature that we have in this webinar, where the students can chat. The teacher has control over how that chat works. So the teacher may just have them be able to talk with just the teacher. This teacher might have it so that they can talk to everybody in the class, and they might have it so they enable private chat. That is, again, up to the teacher's discretion. Most of them probably either have it just to the teacher, or that they can all see the chat together. The record button will most likely not be a feature because we're not recording the lessons. And then in the very right-hand corner, in the red button, you have the leave or leave meeting button, and they would click that to end their session with their teacher. So if there's any questions about Zoom, I can take those.
There's a question I was asked. One of the registration was as far as internet safety around Zoom, and what are some of the precautions that families are, or in this case, Twin Rivers is taking to ensure when it comes to, that they're zooming in safely.
So we've asked we've set up some settings within Zoom to help make it a little bit more secure. And then also that authenticated user that I just talked about. those settings help do that. The teacher also has a waiting room, so that they are going to have to let people into the group so they can see who's being asked to be let in, is something that the teacher either has right now or it's about to be enacted that every teacher has to have it. And also adding a password to those Zoom meetings helps protect it. So, oh, shh, baby. Sorry, Dad's trying to get him to eat dinner. So adding a password on to those Zoom meetings helps with that.
Thank you, Ms. Kramer. One of the questions that was asked, when it comes to attendance for Aeries Parent Portal, they mentioned that they saw some numbers that were posted on their app. Could somebody discuss as far as what those numbers mean?
Yes, I believe that 1 means distance learning synchronous, which just means that the student was there for the live instruction. And so that's what the code 1 means. And so if you're seeing a 1, it's just a slightly different way of doing attendance than we normally do. And if you click on the website version of the portal and you click attendance, there is a legend, an explanation of what all the possible codes can mean. So there's a little better explanation on the website version.
There was a question that came up as far as when it comes to passwords, issues with passwords, as far as logging into programs, logging into Chromebooks. What would IT suggest as far as making sure that they're able to log in, or if it's something that is a user error, what do you recommend in this case?
So I would suggest for passwords, first I want to let everyone know that your students can set their own individual passwords that are easy for you to remember. That's available on the district website. At the very bottom of the Twin Rivers website, there's a link that says password recovery, and you or your students can set your own passwords that are very unique to you. Secure, as Roberto said, is very important, but you can make it personal to you so that you can always remember it. You can also set up security questions there so that if you ever forget your password, it's very, very easy to just recover it and get a new password recovered. And again, that's personal to you and very secure to you. If you ever do forget your password and you haven't set up the password recovery setup yet, my tech support team will be happy to assist with that. If you send us an email from your registered district email, so as a parent, if you have given us your email address and you were to email us and say, hey, I need my student's password, as long as it's your registered email, we'd be happy to just reset and send that password back. Or if you give us a call at the phone number that Roberto had posted earlier, we'll just verify that we'll verify for security reasons that you are who's actually registered to take care of your student, your parent or guardian, and we'll be happily provide that password to you as well. So we could easily get you a password at any time via email or phone. Keeping your password secure is obviously very, very important. Almost all of our tools now will log you in automatically or via our Twin Rivers applications portal with just that one single sign-on. So your students shouldn't have to use 2 or 3 different usernames. It's just one single sign-on, log in through the apps portal, and everything uses that same username and password that you're using.
Then one of the other questions, Jeremy, that was brought up as far as if they have a malfunctioning Chromebook issue, if it's damaged or something happens where it's not functioning properly for Zoom or Google Classrooms accessing it, what would you recommend in those cases?
So I'd say there's 2 scenarios there. If it's a software problem, by that I mean you can use the Chromebook, you can turn it on, you can get into the Chromebook, and the issue is Zoom doesn't work, or you're having trouble on a website, or you're having trouble, be it anything within the Chromebook itself where the Chromebook hardware is not dead. For anything of that nature, give us a call or send us an email at the tech support information that Roberto posted. Our tech support team is happily here to help with that. We can usually fix those issues for you in just a couple minutes over the telephone, and then you'll be up and running. You'll be back into your classes with minimal interruption. If for any reason your Chromebook's not working, if it's won't turn on, if it won't charge, if it's only holding a charge for a few minutes, so that's interrupting, you're not even able to attend classes. For any of those hardware issues, we have extra Chromebooks available, and we will literally just swap your Chromebook with another Chromebook at either our service centers or at your child's normal school. You have two options to get a Chromebook exchanged. You can either contact your child's normal school and they'll make arrangements with you on a day that you can come in and exchange your Chromebook there. Or my team actually hosts two full-time service centers as well. At one location's at Grant High School in the cafeteria snack bar off the parking lot on the left side of the school, the main parking lot. We have a location there. We call it a service center. And then at Highlands High School as well, on the parking lot up at Don Julio Boulevard, we have a service center open there as well. Both of those service centers are open Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, excluding district holidays. And again, if it's anything where your Chromebook just stopped working, we'll gladly just exchange it right there. It's a quick visit. We'll take your old Chromebook in, we'll check that in so it's no longer in your student's name, and we'll check out another Chromebook. If you actually drop or damage your Chromebook, that's something you'll want to contact your child's school for. That's always something the principal wants to have a quick conversation, but then we'll still make sure that you have whatever you need so your child can attend their classes and perform distance learning.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Let me screen share again. So one of the things that Jeremy and Mr. Briggs had talked about here, if you scroll down below to the district, there is a password recovery that you're able to click on, and you're able to then, in this case, reset a password if there's an issue. This is information that says provide your password, as he had mentioned, and also your account. So in this case, you will click on it and you'll be able to then set.
And just as a reference, Alberto, while you're on that website, so if you want to change your passwords, if your students want to set their own unique and secure passwords, that's the My Account feature. If you click on that, you don't have to click on it right now because it'll ask you to log in, Alberto. But if your students click on that, all they need to do is provide their current password, which you're already using daily to log in. And then there's a nice password change button right at the top that they can use to set something that's very easy for them to remember, but no one else will know. Obviously, we want them to share that with you as the parent, but they shouldn't share it with anyone else.
One of the other things that you mentioned was if you scroll up here, let's say if you go to your school, you click on the school right here, and let's say your child goes to Allison, you can click on the website, and on the top corner, they should have, in this case, Aeries Parent Portal. You can create an account. There's the apps portal, which he mentioned. And if you were able to attend our last workshop, this is the workshop, this is the platform that is used in order for them to log into their Zoom account or into Google Classrooms or into the online curriculum or learning tools they're using. So this is the app portal. You'll be able to log into that information that is associated to the student as well. One of the other things that I've been...
Roberto.
Oh,
if you want to, up at the top, if you press that green button, it will take you to the Distance Learning for Families, and you can find some tutorials if you don't know how to use the application.
Thank you, Ms. Kramer. So right here, this is the website that both of our ed tech coordinators created. This is the website that you're able to see. It goes into the Chromebook, Aeries Parent Portal, the apps portal. So let's say you click on the apps portal itself, you're able to find out how to log in, how to, based on information that they have. There's a little tutorial video, and then there's also little PDFs to help as far as logging into either an app or on a tablet or computer. There's also the same for Google Classrooms, the same way as far as accessing those resources, those assignments from their teachers. One of the other questions that I was here is as far as families trying to reach somebody within the office. So if you go back to, let's say, the Allison Elementary School website, click on directory, and when you click on that information, you'll be able to then view, for example, the teachers or staff that are assigned to that school. So you see right here that Ms. Ridzik is counselor. You can send her a message, and then whether it's something about a password. Well, obviously, you can also contact them if there's extensions. If you do contact them, please leave a voice message. Once you leave a voice message, you'll get a notification, and they should be able to contact you back as well. Obviously, within the district school's websites or the district website is some serious information that they have created for you to share with you all. And so that's just there as a future reference as well. Let me go back here. Really quickly, we want to share that these are the different departments and the extensions that they have. For example, if you have questions when it comes to preschool enrollment, when you click on this website link, there should be information when it comes to enrollment, when it comes to preschool. They should guide you as far as what is required, and so there's that information right there. So for example, click right here, it will show you as far as enrolling your child for preschool, ages from infant up to 5 years of age, and they should give all the information as well. As Mr. Briggs had mentioned, there's an IT help desk line to provide any information that questions you might have as well. And then we have our adult school as well for students who are also learning for ESL or GED and so on. And then lastly, we have our different district website, our Aeries Parent Portal information to stay connected and find out information on what's going on within the district. With information such as area essentials or nutrition services or any other updates. So with that, I see that I don't see any other questions, but any closing thoughts? Oh, I see one. I think I already really quickly was a question that was asked was about Aeries Parent or Parent Square. What is Parent Square?
So Parent Square is the company that powers the communications that are done in Aeries. We don't ever need to go to Parent Square's website or download the Parent Square app. However, because the communications are all within the Aeries Parent Portal. So if you see the name Parent Square, it's just the company that powers the technology of the communications. But you can do all of the communications within the Aeries app and within the Aeries website as well. So it's one application that we all need.
Okay. With that, I thank you very much for being here today. We appreciate your attendance. For those that were able to attend, and we'll share this information with you all. I do apologize. There were some glitches on my end. I'm not sure what happened, but it happens for all of us, and we appreciate Luke and Jennifer and Jeremy and Ms. Schiffner for being here today. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to us. A lot of this information has been sent via chat. We're here to help. And as always, you have somebody to contact, and we'll be able to follow up as far as any of the resources. Be on the lookout for more upcoming workshops on SWAN math, on information from student services, and we'll be sending those out via the Parent Portal. With that, thank you very much. Any closing thoughts, any questions, any last comments from Luke or Jennifer or Jeremy, Ms. Schiffner? No?
I was just going to say, just please reach out to us if you have any questions, like Heriberto said, and we're here to help you. So don't hesitate to contact us.
So with that, thank you very much. We appreciate you attending today, and with that, we'll be finishing this this workshop. Thank you all, and take care and be safe, and we'll see you next time.